All right. So welcome again, everyone. Today is September 4th, 2025, kickoff meeting of the Public Policy Peer Group. I am going to share my screen so that you can see the slides. All right. Can everyone see those slides up there?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Okay. So, what we've got going on today, here is our agenda. And Nancy, I don't know if I can turn them.
Well, if not, that's okay. It's just
Okay.
it's just handy, but not essential.
Sorry, this isn't my account. This
Ah,
is the leadership account, so I don't have the back end access. But I'll make sure that I make a note so we can turn those on for next time.
thanks.
No problem. Okay, so our agenda for today, I'll just give you, for those of you who I see many returning faces, we're going to do a little kind of just overview of public policy. So the role of the committee and resources and some of our committee projects for the year. I'll give you some updates on our legislative agenda. There are lots of updates from national, so again, I will talk too fast. So stop me if I am talking too fast. And then we'll probably have a little bit of open discussion. You'll see that a lot of what we're doing is very action oriented. And so I tried to put a little icon on here to look for in all of this information, kind of immediate or upcoming action opportunities, things that you can do, things you can share out. And I'll try to keep that as an icon moving forward, just so it's kind of regular. But that's kind of where we're headed for today. And if you have any questions too about logistics, I will say that my brilliant co-chair, Amy, is not here today, and she is the keeper of most of the institutional knowledge. So if there's anything I can't answer today, then I'll make sure that I check in with Amy as soon as I can and get you the information that you need. But we wish Amy well because Amy is at her daughter's wedding. So I am not here. So congratulations to Amy. I'm sure it is fantastic. And I was like, please don't come. Please. She was gonna pop in from location, and I was like, no. Right. So this is your 25-26 Public Policy Committee. We'll be sending out, you'll see in PP News in the coming months, there'll be profiles for everyone so that you can get to know everyone. Once we generate that, that'll also be in the folder that I show you so that you have everyone's kind of a face and a name and a way to contact them. Coming soon, but here is your initial kind of hello. And if I know we've got a lot of the Public Policy Committee members on this call, so feel free to raise your golden hand or your regular hand and wave hello to everyone so they know that you are here. So that is our Public Policy Committee, and you'll be able to see some of these folks, and you'll be getting in touch with them, or they'll be getting in touch with you soon. So a little bit of just introduction. How many of you are new to public policy? A couple here and there. Welcome and thank you. So a little introduction to public policy and committee resources. So this is, even if you've been doing this for a while, it's good to remind everyone, right, that what we are kind of working with and working towards, and that's our mission statement, to advance gender equity for women and girls through research, education, and advocacy. and our public policy priorities that we have just kind of revamped through our 2024 process, and that you all should have voted on in the spring. So these are the 4 pillars of our public policy priorities, and will be our public policy priorities for the next 2 years. So approved last year in the spring, and we have a new card for everyone. So this is the card, and we have a new website. So let me know if you can see my screen change. Can you all see the website now on the screen? Okay, great.
No.
Did I have a no or a yes?
Yes. Yes. No. I can't read it.
Oh, can't read. Okay. There'll be a link to this.
Okay.
But this is the revamp of the website is linked in the slides, and you'll have a link to the slides too. As soon as I kind of navigate away, I can send you a slide link. But what we did is this year we got a lot of different kinds of feedback. And so we took the feedback and we incorporated some of your feedback and questions into a revamp of the website, as well as the public policy priorities. So we changed it a little, right, to kind of explain what the public policy priorities are. You can download the card here. You can also order print copies from Julica. And we have kind of a shortened version of our public policy priorities on the card, so that the card isn't as busy, basically, with the language itself. So you can download this version if you want to see the expanded version. They're on the drop-down menus, so you can come read our full public policy priorities. And we also changed the back of the card to have a little bit more information about where we stand, including our kind of orientation towards taking action. So a lot of this information, again, came out of members' comments on things that weren't necessarily able to be integrated into the public policy priorities themselves, but were kind of about where we stand. So we took what your feedback and we incorporated what we couldn't into the priorities into this website. So if you haven't seen the revamped website, please take a look. This I can drop into the chat right now. So you can go see it and check it out. And you can download the cards there and share them out, or as I said, get a print copy if you want. Any questions or comments about that? Or I know there are a lot of folks on this call also that spend a lot of hours, right, going through this. So feel free to jump in if there's anything that I missed or that you want to add to this discussion.
Missy, this is Sharon.
Hi,
I'm
Sharon.
looking at the state website and I clicked on the public policy block under branch tools, and it doesn't take me to what you're saying, nor did not take me to that. So I'm wondering what's the story with the link?
Did you click on the link in the chat?
I did not. I clicked on the link on the state website because I want to make sure for our branch development peer group meeting on Tuesday night, when we're doing the GPS for the website, that it's working correctly.
So if you let me go back.
I clicked on both public policy and the large letters, which are the external facing, and it brought me to that.
So
and then okay, so it did not link to that. So it didn't link to public policies 2025. So I suppose if I click on public, okay, so now it links to that. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem.
Wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page because we need to have that up for then.
Yep. Okay, great. I'm glad it was.
Appreciate it.
No problem. Any other comments or questions? Nancy Major, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was a few minutes late. Did you mention the fact that we can now get, we can order the actual public policy priority cards? And I know a lot of us have events and programs coming up this month.
Yep.
And I just ordered some delivered to me priority mail because I wanted to get them in time.
Yes, absolutely. And and we are and by we I mean Amy is amazing at monitoring that with Julika and making sure that those get out to you all on time and quickly and efficiently. I will do my best in her absence to also be as good as Amy. But yes, please order them, order print copies and get them out. The QR code on the back actually takes you to the public policy landing page too, so you can share them, just the QR code if you want to get people to the public policy website itself.
But Julika said she was mailing them out today. Everybody had ordered them so far.
Yep. She is.
Is there
So,
a charge? Is there
order-
a charge? I don't know if you can hear me or see me.
The charge, I think shipping.
Yes.
Yes.
I was not asked for a credit card or anything when I placed the order, so I didn't know if
They'll
if it's
bill us later for shipping.
She said she didn't know, she won't know until she actually goes to the post office, and then she'll contact each of us because we all order different amounts, and she'll let us know.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, Julia's great. We have a spreadsheet, and if for any reason she's not in touch, then get in touch with us, and or don't, because if you don't get a bill for shipping, then I guess don't get in touch with us.
Right.
And celebrate, right? But yes, that is the only charge is shipping. We have it built into our budget for a certain number of print copies for everyone.
I have a question.
Yes,
Sherry
Sherry?
Simon. Yes, and I don't want to hijack the meeting in any way. I was just curious if there would be a couple of people who worked very diligently on this last year, if maybe there was a way that I could meet with them or speak with them. I'm just so curious how reproductive freedom and female bodily autonomy didn't make kind of the list of things, having, the ability to choose when you want to have children is the single biggest determinant to women's overall economic security and well-being, and it just isn't even listed. And so I just would love to have some background on that if possible.
So this is the shortened version of our public policy priorities so that they fit on the card. And so to incorporate several of the priorities, we put self-determination and healthcare decisions. But the longer ones that actually guide our public policy priorities have an elaboration on that. And that was simply because the card was not being read, because our public policy priorities are longer and more elaborate than the shortened version that's on the card.
Okay.
So if you look at the longer ones on the website, but if anyone else wants to have that conversation, and I'm happy to have that conversation with you
Okay.
another time as well.
I have a question.
Yeah, Cassie, go ahead.
So, when I proposed to my co-presidents of my branch, asking for some of the cards, they said, well, what do we want them for? We only have a certain number of new members. And I was like, well, I would use them for recruiting members and also for, recruiting members of my committee. But how do you envision using these cards?
The recruitment is great if you're out tabling at other events, like letting
Right.
know folks what we're about. If you're talking to your representatives that aren't aware of us or who we are or where
Okay.
we stand, they're another good audience for these cards. So I think those are two of our our intended audiences for the cards are right, not just our members, but yes, definitely recruitment of new members and introducing ourselves, especially thinking about whether it's local policymakers or state policymakers, then letting them know like this is where we stand and this is right, what we're advancing.
So that's a lot of information to cram on one card. What is the size of the cards?
I don't know what these are this year. This is
About 6x4.
Mhm. Nancy, Major?
Yeah, the other thing I recommend is that every member keep 2 or 3 of these public policy priority cards in their glove box. And when they go to the doctors, or if they, assuming they have a female doctor, or the dentist, or any other meetings, that they take the cards with them and hand them to your, for example, your doctor, and say, look, this is a wonderful organization. This is what we stand for. Why don't you join us?
Mm,
Okay,
Thank you.
good.
So, and right, this is the shortened version, all right, of the cards again, right? The cards were longer before. And so we're working on trying to capture the things that we need to say in the shortest possible version. And then the QR
Lot to say.
the QR code goes to the website, and the website has the extended information about all of these things. So, that is your new public policy cards. The kind of before we even get into like other areas, a lot of questions that we've been getting through the spring is, can we protest as AAUW and what can we do as a nonpartisan organization? So can you protest as AAUW? Can you go in your AAUW garb? Yes, you can go in your AAUW garb, right? So as part of our wider public policy program, we can engage in legislative and other forms of activism as long as they are not right for candidate A of party A, right, but is about right activism around our public policy priorities, and our so that is right what you can do. So we'll keep centering that in the kinds of resources that we're providing. We had a vote or got the support of the California board this summer to take the position clearly that right protesting for democracy is nonpartisan, and then that is a nonpartisan action. So you can right take your branch out. And just like our work with election cycles, right, our public policy priorities should be centered in activism rather than party politics. So if you have a question about anything, you can reach out to us. You can reach out to members of the Public Policy Committee. And then I linked on here National's public demonstration guide, so that you have guidance from National as well. So protest away for democracy. Okay. If you're looking for other action items, question, yes.
Can you put the link in the chat for Nationals information there?
Everything that is on here is going to be linked through the slides, and you'll have a link to the slides. So all the links are active in the slides, and you'll have them all.
Thank you.
No problem. And this is just a reminder, if you're looking for other action items, each month in Public Policy News, we give you action items that are kind of, if there's too much action going on, we have a targeted set of actions around a specific topic area. This month was kind of Public Policy News was your education issue. And so we had equity and access in public education as part of the action items. And these are all in Public Policy News where the links are active. And you can take those action items too that are more targeted. All right. So what else can you do at the branch level? So again, we have every month we provide information in public policy news and other sources that you can kind of filter out through your own branch newsletters. So we have now a public policy communications subcommittee. So within public policy, we have our own communications channel that we're kind of developing out. And so we have, Blue Sky, we have ResistBot, and we still have an email network that we're using. And the information for branch newsletters can also be pulled from public policy news, where we have newsletter articles that you can use in full or in part. We have ongoing projects that we're going to talk about, some of the projects that we have for the year. And I'll give you details about that in a minute. And then if branches are doing great things, because y'all are doing great things, then share. And this link will also be active to share what you're doing at the branch level. You can share them here in this meeting. You can share them via this link with us, and then we'll share all of that out, both to kind of highlight the things that you're doing either before you do them or after the fact, and give other people ideas of things to do. Janice, the most recent public policy newsletter went out on Monday this week. So Monday or Tuesday this week. So it is hot off the presses and is what I did with my holiday weekend. So
Okay, if
Thank you.
I don't recall seeing it, so if I don't get it, do I contact you or Amy or?
if you don't see it, it is on the AAUW California website
Okay, yeah,
right here,
yeah,
and then it'll take you to the latest issue.
okay.
Missy, there are some times when the newsletters, because they're sent out to a lot of people, they might end up in people's spam. So before you think you didn't get it, you might check your spam folder.
Yeah, I usually do, and I've gotten them for a long time, so I'll check though.
We'll double, Janice, would you mind shooting us an email so we can make sure that your name is still on our distribution list too?
Sure.
Then, okay, thank you so much. And all right, so that's now we also have a little section on PP News that's like, where is this, right? But where can you find all of this stuff? So we have all these links, again, will be active when you get the slides, but we have folders through Google Workspace where we keep things that we can share with you in addition to the California website. So the California website is linked here. You can find all these links on the Where Is That section of every month's PP News.
Okay.
But let me also just take you to, this takes you to the Google folders that are just for all of you. So here is I have an index in that folder for you, so you don't even have to remember any of this. You just go to the index in that folder and you can bookmark the index, and it tells you where everything is. These are all the folders in your Google Workspace. Here's a content guide. You have also, Janice, if for any reason you can't make it to the state website, we also have a PDF copy that you can download in this folder in the Google Workspace. For every meeting, we have a standing document that is your meeting agenda that has the Zoom link, the next meeting date, and the agenda. Probably 5 to 7 days before, will tell you what the agenda for the next meeting will be. The static copies of the newsletter articles that you can pull. So if you don't like all the design, or you don't want to try to pull the design out of public policy news, these are just the text. So the text-based articles are here, and they're here for every month. So you can go in and pull something from several months back if you like it and you want to publish it later. And action alerts. So this is anything that we send out that's not through our social media, that we send out through email, or if we create, which we often do for Get Out the Vote, an email, social media campaign where we have things that we can give to you that you can then, right, put out on your own. It'll be in this folder. And we have other resources, and eventually, right, the new member profiles will be there. But we have some flyers for upcoming events here and the other resources, and also Nationals Policy Leaders Resource menu. So this is linked on the slides, and so is the folder itself. You have access to all of that. You can peruse it. It's all public for you. So everything you need should be either in Google Workspace or on the state website. And if it isn't, then come talk to us. We're pretty good about keeping things pretty updated. Any questions about that?
Is the link for Blue Sky on there too?
Yep, the link for Blue Sky will be in another slide, but I have you linked. I have the link for Blue Sky and ResistBot and all of the things that the Public Policy Communications Subcommittee is working on.
Thank you.
No problem.
So have all of our names been added to the Google Workspace? Is that how we access it if we don't have the link, or how do we access it without the link?
You need the link to access it. Instead of adding you all directly, this is a public view link.
Okay.
So once you have access to the public view link, which I can probably pull from here right now.
Could you put that in the chat?
I can put this one in the chat because it's open.
Great, thank you.
But that'll take you to the index, and then the index should take you to all the folders. And if you have any trouble with it, then just let me know and I'll add you on the back end. But we haven't had any trouble because it's through my Google Workspace, and I can fix the security settings. So, but if you have any trouble, shoot us an email. So here's what our little kind of mini version of communications is doing. So this is, we're basically trying to use different mediums to give members and the wider public education and targeted pathways for action, for taking action on different things. Erica, who is on the call, is joining me to lead this subcommittee this year. We have 3 of our new members that are going to work with us. So updated information, right? Where can you find it? The website, the public policy website, public policy news, Google Workspace that we just went over. Here is your link to Blue Sky. Here's your link to ResistBot. I just posted last night about something. I took a little summer hiatus, but action alerts, more of them coming soon, especially because of the legislative cycle. Other resources that we are developing and have launched, the Trans Allyship Guide, the Take Action website, which we're going to work this year to translate from right now. It's done in Google Sheets. I think we're going to translate it over to a Google website. So it's going to be a standing website to help with navigation issues. And I gave you a list of our past webinars as well, so that you can see what we've already done. And upcoming webinars will always be in public policy news, and we'll send out information. So here's our upcoming webinars and events. So there's a lot happening in September. One of them is you might catch the tail end after this one, but it did go out in public policy news. But these are ordered in chronologically. So from top to bottom, the date is right the soonest, and then the ones that are the furthest out. So there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on in September, and I'm sure there'll be stuff in October too, as we do more Get Out the Vote. But these are in December. We already have some things planned. Right, so just to give you a sense of then the projects that we have working on, that we're working on this year, I wanted to give you kind of a goal, like we have a subcommittee that's working on it, and then, right, what you can do for our ongoing projects. And we have a few new projects that we'll talk about that are still kind of being developed, but we have some ideas about where they're going. And so we'll give you more information about what that means for you and what you can do with them as we're moving forward. So I'm going to go through each of these projects briefly, just so you have a sense of what they are if you are not aware of them, and how you can get more involved. So we have the school board project, what you can do with our legislative agenda. There's going to be a lot of action alerts soon, in about 5 days when things start going to the governor's desk. Everybody should get a Twitter account and tweeted him in all caps to get our bills across the line, I think. But we'll have some things for you there. Get out the vote. I will explain what's happening with that. Lobby days are kind of ongoing projects, and then we have some new ones around coalition building, around city councils. And we have one that's in really early stages of development that actually a group of girls in high school brought to us to help them operationalize, called the Women's Health Project. So I'll give you a little bit more background on each of those. And here we go, right? So the school board project has gone through a couple of different iterations. And so it has moved into a monitoring phase. So this year we'll continue with some monitoring, and there may be some move to recruit candidates for school board again. So on this slide, there'll be information if you are not familiar with the school board project, just to familiarize yourself with it. Historically, right, we've been working on this project since 2023. Kathy Harper has been spearheading it. And we've got several of the other school board project members on the call too, so they're welcome to jump in if they want to add anything. In 2023, Kathy sent out a wide survey to everyone about what was happening with local school boards, and developed a school board project toolkit for folks who want to kind of go to school board meetings and speak up, and for recruiting candidates. Pam, go ahead. You have a question?
Yes, just a quick question, and maybe it'll fit in here. Is there any activity that's recommended or that we can do that would parallel for a thank you to a school board that's not giving us problems?
Oh, absolutely. And that's one of the things that they found, is that simply showing up and being there and thanking the school board members for the things that they're doing is one of the things that school board members have found most encouraging, because even in school boards that are doing the things, right, are actually complying with state law and doing the things to advance our public policy priorities, they're still getting pushback on some level. And so simply showing up and supporting is an important thing to do, even if you're not there to kind of like defend democracy. So thanks, Pam, for that. I appreciate that. So the toolkit gives you scripts for speaking up at school board meetings, and for recruiting candidates. The subcommittee continued collecting information in 24 and 25. There continues to be interest and engagement in the project, so we've kept it on as a special project, and it's kind of just changed shape and changed focus depending on the needs. So we also have coalition building. So some branches develop coalitions with other like-minded groups, and they all show up together and do strategy work together. So this is a great coalition building opportunity as well. Right there, and Pam, to your point, positive feedback from school board members and just appreciation for showing up, even in school districts where things seem to be going very well. And the goals for this year is more coalition building. And internal and external. We're working more with the Public School Defenders Hub. You'll see that was one of the webinars that is coming up is a training so we've been working with them on training our members that are monitoring compliance with state law. And refocusing on recruitment of school board members in the next year or two. That was kind of the initial part of the project. We're circling back to that, and Kathy's working on that now, thinking about what that looks like and how to give you all tools to do that. And there's a member education half-day symposium that is coming up in early 2026. So that is in the works. Having a keynote speaker and a panel and workshops on coalition building and recruiting.
That's cool.
So we don't have a date for this yet, but this is coming up in early 2026, and we'll provide you with information about that as soon as we have it. So in PP News this month, if you haven't had a chance to read it, every month until that symposium, one of the articles in PP News is going to be about why participation, right? About the school board project. And the first one is why participation is so critical, written by our wonderful Sina, who I think is on this call. So thank you, Sina. And if you haven't read it yet, give it a read. It is a really nice historical arc and discussion of the connection between school boards and functional democracies. Sue, you have a question, comment? You're muted, Sue. Sue, you're on mute.
I'm sorry.
No, no
I
problem.
encourage everyone to sign up for the webinar. You have the information on how to do that in the newsletter that's come today or yesterday. Even if you don't know much about this project, I think you would get a sense of what some of the issues are. And it's always a good idea to see what your school board's doing if you haven't been, because there may be some things going on you don't like. So my advice is take the webinar.
Thanks, Sue. And you know, and if you show up and they're doing great things, as Pam said, like give them a high five and thank them for their service, right? So that's the school board project, right? Lots coming up on that, and there are lots of links in these slides to give you reading for all the things that that they've done, the tools that are out there. There's a great brochure. Shout out to, I think it was Joy, that as somebody that is translating it into Spanish for us. So we're gonna have a Spanish version shortly that that we can put out as well. So great, amazing work on this subcommittee, and like if you haven't checked it out, you should check it out.
I have a question. I have a question about that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't find my raise hand.
That's okay.
So are you guys going to be doing that at the state level, putting out the Spanish, or are
you can put it out first if it's ready to go? And
well, the only question we had is, I think what's on the website is just the PDF version to print out. And so could we get some kind of editable form so we could replace
yeah,
the
send me,
language?
if you send me an email, it's I designed it on Canva, so I can create a template that you could drop the language into.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
No problem. No
So
problem.
Missy, I don't see our branch on this list, and I don't see the Inland Empire represented. Do we have a contact? A liaison?
I don't know.
We are actively
Maybe
doing
Tina.
we are doing the project and have been from the beginning. So
It should be Sina.
Yeah, you know, the inland should be mine too. That's what confused me because I have southeast, but inland. The problem I think is that the you know, like Temecula doesn't have a branch, right? And that kind of thing. So, but Inland Empire should be mine.
Yeah, our Redlands branch does have members from Southwest Riverside County, so you're welcome to join us.
Okay,
Where does
So-
Napa fit on here? I
So-
don't see Napa, so I'm just trying to figure.
So
Coast?
my understanding of this list is it's been generated based on the branches that have been in communication with Kathy about what's happening at their branches. And so Cassie, I'm not sure why yours isn't on here. But it sounds like you've hooked up with Sina, and Sina's gonna add you to the list and make sure that we get you in touch. And if anyone else is actively doing something already and you don't see yourself represented here, then I'd say contact me / Kathy, and we can kind of figure out what's happening with this. I'm sorry, I can't speak to this because this is not.
Maybe because, right now there are 2 branch committees that are co-partnering on the project, and maybe neither one of us has communicated with Kathy, so we will do that.
Okay.
And can you send me through the email, just send me your information so I have it?
Yes, I'll do that.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Great. And if anyone else is not represented here and you're actively engaged, please reach out to me, reach out to Kathy so that we can get you in the system and make sure that you have somebody that you have a liaison that's checking in with you. Okay, fantastic. All right. So our ledge agenda, this is, right, you have a copy of the bill tracker on every PP news, what's happening. So this year our goals are, are to author a new bill to preserve infrastructure and restore potential funding lost due to the defunding of the McNair Scholars Program as needed. So we are doing research on seeing if we can create legislation around this. It's currently on hold because, as you'll see with updates from National, even though this was completely defunded in Trump's budget bill, there's some wrangling in the Senate Appropriations Committee to actually get these programs funded. So we're holding on that right now. And then potentially, right, working on providing a model policy language for local jurisdictions to strengthen anti-discrimination protections. So we're working on model language for local jurisdictions as well. And we have some potential mechanisms for doing it. So this is in the early stages too. This is a preview, and we'll let you know when we have this a little more concrete, depending on how we can move forward with it and whether or not we need to at the state level legislation. Pam, I see your hand. You're muted, Pam.
Where would I look for information about the McNair Scholars Program? I confess I'm ignorant of it.
There's a link to the TRIO programs in Public Policy News under the action alerts this month. It's part of the larger TRIO umbrella of federal programs that help first generation college students.
Yeah.
No problem. Okay. Right, so early stages, but this is what we're kind of thinking of for the next year, but stay tuned on this. And of course, our legislative agenda for 2026. Our goal is always to get 60% of our selected bills across the line. And as I mentioned, our 2025 legislative agenda, our 3 A-level priority bills got out of appropriations last week. We're expecting them to reach the governor's desk around sometime between September 9th and 11th. And so that's why we're asking you to kind of track us on Blue Sky. We'll send out alerts there. We'll send out alerts on ResistBot and to kind of move. And if we have capacity, we'll also try to send them out via email. We don't like to spam everyone all the time, so we'll either get a collection before we send them out via email. If you want real time one-by-one alerts, then follow us on Blue Sky and ResistBot, and because we send them out in real time there, and then we collect them up before we send them out on email so that you don't get spammed. But these are our 3A level priority bills. We're expecting them to move next week. And then you can see on the bill tracking report, which of our B and C level bills are still moving through. And you'll get some alerts about those as well. All right, so other things we have coming up, get out the vote. So we have a special election this year, so we'll focus on special election and municipal elections. We have seen what is happening around Proposition 50 with the positions that are being taken by organizations like Common Cause. The League of Women Voters initially came out with a more kind of no position and have since moved to neutral since their name was co-opted and used in a big glossy mailing campaign that they did not advocate for. So we are focused on providing information about and emphasizing some of the positive impacts of Proposition 50 for California. This is, right, not a formal recommendation or endorsement. We've been in contact with National. We discussed it as a public policy committee, and the state board is currently voting on whether or not we can move forward with this as a campaign. Our goal is to kind of be nonpartisan and information centric, but not shy away from talking about the possible ramifications as well as the possible positives of Proposition 50 getting across the line. We want to combat misinformation because obviously, even if you're nonpartisan and taking no position, your name can be co-opted. So saying something rather than saying nothing seems like a position to take. And the focus
The meeting is just finishing.
on the importance of saving democracy for
Like policy.
So
But
we're
yeah,
waiting board approval. We have until Saturday for the board to vote on it. And we'll have more on our Get Out the Vote campaign coming soon.
Okay.
Any questions
Message
or
there.
comments?
Somebody needs to tell Elaine
Yeah.
P that we can hear her.
How's your
Elaine P.
afternoon going?
Elaine P, mute yourself.
It sounds like
I got it.
Thank you. Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, ask away.
See, okay, last night, one of our members asked if we would endorse a sales tax increase in our county, and our board approved, although we all hate sales taxes, but you know, because they're regressive and annoying, but basically with the cuts coming from the, you know, brutal boorish bill, they're necessary.
Right.
You know, people were saying like, isn't this part, you know, blah, blah, blah. And everybody said, no, it's not partisan, but we can't endorse Prop 50. But if there's any news on that from your end, how do I be the first to know from the state?
So, and with our conversation with National, the course of action that we're taking is not offering a formal recommendation. And the not offering a formal recommendation or a formal endorsement basically keeps National out of it. Otherwise, it would have to go through a much longer process for us to be able to say anything. But
So what can we offer?
What we can offer is if the board approves the kind of language and the moving forward of this campaign, then what we can offer is actually, you know, talking about Prop 50 as something that is, right, is not that looks partisan on its face, but is not inherently partisan if the goal is to actually advance our public policy priorities in California and to advocate for democracy. That's the same position that's been taken by Common Cause and the League of Women Voters, and it's just being a little bit more upfront about actually saying that. and talking about that as a positive. So that's the needle that we're threading to make to make this happen. And as soon as we have language and are able to do it and have language, then I'm going to run that language by national again, and then it'll go out to all of you.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I see Sina first, and then Myra.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, question on Prop 50. Okay, so we're going to use this special language, but will that allow us, for instance, to send out postcards to lists to remind people to vote and how it's
And give
critical?
them, yep, as long as it's informational.
And will we be getting some written language that is comfortable for our organization to use?
Yep.
Because I am already now involved in sending out postcards from another organization, which is nonpartisan, but really not. So, you know, it's again, the language is going to be a key. So we'll get the script or the language on the postcards.
Yep.
And we can actively mobilize our branches to get involved.
As long as it is approved by the state board, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're waiting on that. They have until Saturday to vote, and that's the last hurdle. And as soon as we get a fingers crossed, go ahead, then that goes out to all of you, and we're already working on the language in anticipation of that. And National has been very responsive in working with us to make this happen.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Myra?
Just a point of clarification. This is the redistricting bill, correct?
It is.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. All right. So stay tuned. We're working on it. Upcoming things, right? Lobby Day is another action item. That information will start coming out in November on next year's Lobby Day. So stay tuned there. Just wanted to put this in the initial slides so that you have that information and know that that's a project you can get involved with. And our new projects are in the works. So we're working on building all kinds of coalitions with organizations that share our goals. And we have the two Nancys, which we need a good nickname because we've got Nancy and Nancy working on this, that are spearheading this for not just maintaining relationships with our existing coalitions, but really branching out in California to get involved so that we can promote what other organizations are doing and not be kind of work smarter, not harder, right? Like don't create the exact same things that other organizations are doing, but make sure that we're amplifying each other and that we're working on things that are unique, right? And that are specific to our public policy goals that then can also be amplified by them. So coalition building. We changed the acronym for the Council Action and Monitoring Project because it matched the Chinese Communist Party, and we thought that was a bad way to get started. So now it is, the acronym is CCAMP, right? And this is in the works too. Thinking about what the school board project looks like and has done. You know, so there are a couple different ideas here, right? You know, thinking about creating relationships with your local city councils, going to those meetings as well, seeing what's happening. If we have potentially a specific monitoring focus, right, that might be something that we can do. And we have some ideas. This is also in the works. I think, right, Ginny and Nancy, right, are going to shape the direction of this. So this is going to be moving forward, and stay tuned for more on this, but really kind of building relationships with city councils and getting out there and in this capacity as well, because hyper local is a place where we can make things happen right now and where things can happen in a way that are good for everyone in our communities. So let's see what we can do with this and take it out for a spin. And then we have the Women's Health Project. It's really still in early development, but so look for all of these. We'll give you updates as soon as they are developed. But these are going to be places where you can put your energy as well. I want to note that it's just about 4 o'clock, and I'm going to motor through updates from National. So if anybody has to go, I apologize that this is going to run a few minutes over, but I appreciate everyone's questions and thank you for hanging in there. So some updates from National. There's a lot going on at National. One thing is they did a recent nationwide branch survey that showed that people are very interested in public policy throughout the country. They said that they've seen some massive, I forget the percentage increase in the number of branches this year that that were very interested in public policy. And because of this huge uptick in interest, National is planning to do more to provide updates, policy briefings, advocacy trainings, and other action items. We're sharing some of the things that we do with them including the school board project to see if we can amplify that and give that right as a potential area, a project nationwide. But there's a rollout plan for the week of September 22nd with some of this stuff from National. So check that out. Once we get it, we'll also make sure that we get it to you. So here's some of the federal updates and what they're doing about it. The BBB, not saying the listed name of it
bill.
because it's just not, I cannot put beauty in there. So the budget, right? So it was signed into law, but there's been a lot of wrangling this summer around education funding and defunding. Like I said, as soon as this came out, I started moving on like something in California to support the TRIO programs. And then in the end of July, there was a Senate Appropriations Committee meeting where they are basically saying, no, we want to fund these programs. So there's a lot of back and forth happening. The House Appropriations Committee wants to have this 15% cut of education, which aligns with the Trump bill, but the Senate rejected it. So that means there's going to be a lot of kind of things to watch. National is going to be monitoring, responding to developments with labor, HHS, education bills in the House and Senate, which is where some of this wrangling is going to take place. So we can watch those updates from National, and if we get them, we'll pass them on to you as well if any action items are needed or just for information purposes, if that's not included in their policy updates that they roll out the week of the 22nd. They are also looking at public service loan forgiveness. So we have an action item in here. We are going to be releasing comment guides, but you can respond right away if you'd rather respond right away. We don't have a template for you necessarily yet, but there have, so public service loan forgiveness, if you're not familiar with it, after 10 years of service, your student loans can be forgiven. If you work in a particular nonprofit or educational setting that is labeled public service. A few weeks ago, a memo came out about nonprofit work, and so now the Secretary of Education is going to determine if you can have public service loan forgiveness based on whether or not where you're working is engaged in, quote, illegal activity. So normally this is up to the IRS and there's a process. But now Linda McMahon is going to decide if you're engaged in illegal activity, and how they're defining it is very problematic. Supporting terrorism, quote unquote, can be supporting Gaza and supporting immigration. Quote unquote, trafficking children can be providing gender affirming care. Quote unquote, illegal discrimination can be anything that they choose to label as DEI, including clean energy, by the way, which is DEI. So sex-based scholarships in that sense would be illegal discrimination, right, in their interpretation. So what is unlawful discrimination? That is something that is, there's a PR challenge around this as well as legal challenges around this. You know, the Justice Department's interpretation currently does not match up with historical precedent. There's a fight here. But this politicizes and undermines public service. There's a bunch of First Amendment challenges going on around this, and they're being geared up. Meaning like you can't tell a nonprofit what it can and cannot do, right? And you cannot discriminate based on viewpoint discrimination. So the fight is on. But what we are asking you to do now is take action here through in National's 2-minute activism, or 2-minute activist platform about this, right? Making a comment on this change in the PSLF program, and we'll keep you posted on what happens moving forward. Last year, second to last, I think, the other thing that's happening is on education funding is continuing to look for this budget reconciliation and rulemaking. So there'll be these committees that AAUW National is kind of both following and inserting themselves to the degree that they can. But watching negotiators that will work on definitions as part of budget reconciliation and the proposed rules that come out of them. So there's, for instance, language in the budget that's like, there's now a loan cap for graduate and professional, you know, loans for programs, but they didn't put any definition into the law about what professional is. So, you know, those kinds of things are part of the kind of rulemaking, defining and reconciliation process. And we're watching that very closely because clearly the way that we're defining terms, the way that they're defining terms is not necessarily the way that we define terms, right? Such as, you know, human trafficking. No, right. They are doing lots of other things with rulemaking. We sent out an alert in May about the Department of Energy. So they're trying to challenge or change civil rights via rulemaking processes in federal agencies. So we're going to send out something about the Department of Labor. I have a link here already. But we gave you the Department of Energy attempts at changing the rules in May. They attempted to change protections against discrimination based on gender, race, disability, and age within the Department of Energy. And why are they doing this in the Department of Energy? It's because some education funding comes through and from the Department of Energy, right? And so it's kind of this sneaky backdoor thing where you're changing it in a place where you think it might not matter, but where it matters very much. All of these changes are up to public comment. And so the more that we can pour out public comments, the more it slows it down and the more likely it is that later later legal challenges have the public comments behind them as part of the evidence for what they're doing. So there's open public comments. The Department of Veterans Affairs, I sent them something out on Blue Sky last night because it closed yesterday and we just got the information. But the Department of Veterans Affairs proposed a rule removing coverage of abortion care from veterans medical benefits packages by calling it a non-essential medical service. So that public comment period closed yesterday, but there's tons of comments. Remember, the more comments, the more it slows it down. And the more comments, the stronger the legal challenge if the rule does make it through and get published, okay? The Department of Labor is open. We're working on templates for you. But you are welcome to check it out, right? The link is here. But their proposed rule is again around anti-discrimination protections and affirmative action. The Department of Labor one is looking to rescind Johnson's executive order on affirmative action that predated the Civil Rights Act. So they're going straight at it. And we're working on templates for you. But again, you don't need our templates, right? If you have feelings about it and thoughts about it, go pour it on out, right? That's totally fine. You don't need our templates. This is not strategic. The comments themselves in opposition are the things that are important. Myra? You're muted.
I listened to Robert Kennedy this morning, not all, but most, and he's now going after the abortion pill. And he's looking at the safety. It's not just the veterans, but it's all things and everything. So I just thought I'd let people know that.
Yeah, and they're trying to reinvigorate the Comstock Act from
Yeah.
the 19th century, which is gonna be a potential avenue for them. I mean, they're going way back. They're like 19th century law, perfect. Let's do that. You know, because makes sense. I know women had a really good place in society in the 19th century.
Is all of this on Blue Sky? I just got it together to get it into Blue Sky, but I can access a lot of this in Blue Sky also.
Blue Sky is going to be the action alerts, Myra. So like when we give you anything, we haven't put all these out. So the link here, these are national. So I amplify national when I can.
Okay.
And then we'll put out any, once our bills from our legislative agenda in California start moving through, we'll put out alerts there as well.
Thank you for the clarification.
No problem.
I have a question.
Sherry, go ahead.
Yes. When will the public policy news, the like 2-page letters, they're great. When do they come out? Do they come out at a set time?
We send them out the first of the month.
So the first of the month.
Yep.
So October's will come out October 1st. Okay, because I'm just struggling because our stuff has to be in by the 24th of the previous month, and I want to get timely information out. Have you discussed that in the past, or how we meet deadlines for triads?
We have, and we've tried to accommodate as much as we can, because we used to send them out on the 5th. We backed it up to the 31st to try to get things out for folks. So right now what we've been doing is basically having the information that we can in there. Like for instance, newsletter articles, we're like for your October newsletters when it comes out September 1st, basically. As far as the other information is concerned, I don't know if there's a better mechanism for putting it out. We could consider using Blue Sky for things that are timely there too, as long as it's not going to send it out to a public we don't want. But Sherry, let's think about how we can do that without backing the newsletter up to a point where
there's great stuff in there, and the way in which you are, the depth that you're going into is fantastic, and so I just want to leverage it fully.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But let me take a note and think on that, because that's been an ongoing issue to make sure that it's current when it comes out, but that it meets everyone's deadlines.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
But like, maybe we can leverage some of our other channels for doing that. So let me think.
Our deadline's the first weekend of the previous month, so we appreciate the first of the month.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. Then this one was rough because I was like, again, Amy's amazing. Amy does so much. Like Amy does so many amazing things that are like, I think, way too invisible. And like she keeps this whole machine chugging along for sure. And she's like, she was leaving and it was a holiday, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, Amy. I'm gonna do it. So, but we did get it out. There's also going to
go.
Now the California Compass is going to come out too. So we also try to align it around the state deadlines. But Sherry, yeah, let me think about how I can do that. Is there any way you could send me an email and tell me your exact deadline?
Okay.
So I can think about like how to best accommodate that.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
And whoa, I'm surprised I'm only like 12 minutes over. Okay, so that's your open Q&A. I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna actually share the slide deck with you all so you have this. And then please head out and keep doing all the amazing work you are always doing. Thank you, everyone. I'm looking forward to a great year with all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
You're
Can we ask
very
a question now?